This is Professor Wes Porter, and again we're talking about the rules of evidence and specifically issue spotting under the rules. Today I want to try to separate out two concepts that are under the rules that are often confused. That is character evidence under Article 4, where the proper objection is, objection, Your Honor, improper character, and witness rules. Rules that have to do with, particularly in cross-examination, what we can do with witnesses or not in an effort to impeach them or go after their character for truthfulness. Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment. These two concepts are related. They have to do with things that, topics that can be often confused, but really we've got to ask a couple key questions to separate them out. The first one is, who is this evidence going to? Who is this evidence about? So if we recognize character evidence, that's when someone offers reputation and opinion evidence. Those are clear. When someone's offering reputation and opinion evidence, it falls under one of these two rules, character or impeachment. But who is it about? Is it the reputation opinion about one of the characters in the story, the criminal defendant, the victim, parties in a civil case? Or is it the reputation and opinion about the witness themselves? So how it gets confused is we introduce character evidence about these people, about the criminal defendant, victim in a criminal case, or parties in a civil case, through witnesses. We've heard of these people. They're called character witnesses. We introduce them through witnesses, but it's about the people in the play. As opposed to the witness that's on the stand, the prior stuff, the reputation and opinion, is about them. So separate out, who is this stuff about? Now the most difficult one has to do with specific acts, that form of evidence. When we are telling stories about someone in the case, we are telling stories from the past. That's what specific acts is. We're not going to say you're honest. We're going to tell a story from your past that demonstrates you to be honest. And those are the ones you have to look out for. That story time, is it about one of the characters in the play, or is it a story from the past that has to do with the witnesses? Now, the second thing we want to look to distinguish which one of these is at issue is what trait are we talking about. With impeachment and with witnesses, there is only one trait that ever matters, and that is the trait for untruthfulness, the trait for truthfulness, right? Credibility is the only thing that matters with a witness. So if you find that the opinion or reputation or even the story time specific acts relates to a different character trait, like honesty, like violence, like law-abidingness, whatever it is, that's going to be a character evidence issue. Because the only one that ever matters for witnesses is character for untruthfulness or credibility. That's the only one that ever matters. That's all those rules in Article 6. That's all they go to is character for untruthfulness. The only limitation on true character evidence under Article 4, namely 404A and the exceptions that allow the defendant to sort of pull the trigger on those rules, is it has to be pertinent. Honesty in an embezzlement case, violence, character for violence in an assault case, all it has to do is relate to the crime. Whereas impeachment is only limited to one. Now the last one is what form. What form that the evidence comes in can actually help you separate out whether you're talking about Article 6 impeachment of a witness or whether you're talking about Article 4 character evidence as it relates to characters in the play. What form? Start again with impeachment. These are typically cross-examination questions and avenues that I can pursue as the cross-examiner to go after impeachment, to go after a witness's character for untruthfulness. So look out for those cross-examination questions, right? Did you lie on your law school application? That is a cross-examination question. That is a question that may be permitted under 608B as a specific act of untruthfulness. Well, you need to know that. Who is that lying on the law school application about? It's about the witness. Therefore, it's Article 6. Now, if it's permitted under Article 4, if it's one of these character rules, it can come in a bunch of different forms. It can be the reputation and opinion that we talked about. It can also be the story time from the past about someone. Well, it could be a 404B evidence, where it's story time, it's something from the past, it's something from outside the timeline or the box of the case, and it's a specific story from the past, but it's not for propensity, not to show that someone acted in conformity with some character trait, instead offer to show something else at issue in the case, like motive, intent, absence of mistake. So look at the form of the evidence that's coming in. Cross-examination questions as allowed through the different rules under Article 6, or is it the typical forms that we see for character evidence? Try to separate out character evidence for impeachment, and then you can truly recognize the advanced learning point of what happens when one of these characters, the criminal defendant, becomes a witness, right? Then that's when the two issues are conflated. That's when you have two paragraphs of your essay. That's when you engage in both forms of analysis. Criminal defendant is on the stand, one of the characters in the play, and is now asked about a prior conviction or a prior bad act of some kind, now we might have to evaluate that for character evidence, improper character, Your Honor, or are they permitted to do this because the defendant has decided to become a witness? Is this something allowed under the impeachment rules? Now we're talking about two forms of analysis, not in the situations we've discussed before. I hope this helps.